off we go. I'd like to say welcome to all of you, and especially our newest member, Margaret Abramshi. Margaret, I hope you will enjoy being part of the Three Corners Women's Giving Circle. And I hope we will have many, many new members in 2021. As you know, Stephanie founded the Three Corners in 2013 and worked very hard to make it what it is today. She is an amazing woman. I would like to thank her on behalf of all of us for her vision and her hard work. I would also like to thank the previous executive board, Lori Baum, Terry Koenig, and Martha Hewer. And now I hand off the virtual mic to Stephanie.
Okay. I don't have much to say except to praise these 5 brave women that have stepped up. And they're doing an amazing job and catching on really fast. And I just appreciate all of them. And I think our group is going to be so much better with these 5 brains working on everything. They have unbelievably great ideas. And now with 5 people, they can actually implement some of these ideas. I had some ideas, but I just didn't have the bandwidth to do very much. And so I'm gonna stay around, I'm here, and helping them out at least through this year. And hopefully everything will go well. I just want everyone to bear with them because they're learning. Also, they're going to be looking for some backup help so that maybe they could go on vacation for a week or something. And so I would really encourage you to maybe offer to help one of them and you know, learn a little bit yourself, learn more about the Giving Circle and how we operate. And I know they will appreciate your support. So thanks so much, 5 of you. And I know you're going to introduce yourself, so I won't say anything else, except to say that every one of them is amazing, because this is not, I was a one-person show and I had a way of doing things, and it isn't always the way that they would have chosen, but they're mucking in and doing the job. So thanks very much. It's over to you, Glenna, or whoever's taking it. Joan, I guess.
I would like to thank all those who have already made their annual donation. And for those of you who have not yet had a chance, please renew your membership as soon as possible, as we need to know how much money we shall have for 2022 grant funding. It's simple to give, either by sending a check to the Community Foundation of Utah in Salt Lake, or by donating online on the Community Foundation website. Please remember to note that your donation is for our group, the Three Corners Women's Giving Circle. We are making some changes to our phone and mail address. So the best way to communicate with us for now is by our Gmail account. Since we have a new executive committee, we thought we might introduce ourselves and perhaps let you know how you can get involved and further the mission of the Three Corners. And I'll start. So I am Joan Daou. I'm co-chair of the executive committee. I am a snowbird from Montana. I feel I have the best of both worlds. Montana in the summers, and St. George when Montana is covered with ice and snow. My passion is hiking in the Rocky Mountains and trekking in the high country of the Himalayas, so Nepal, Tibet, the Peruvian Andes, the high Atlas Mountains of Morocco, and other wonderful places around the world. It gives me a chance to see the most spectacular scenery and to meet the most interesting and wonderful local people and to just bliss out. I've always been totally committed to advancing women in my workplace, in studies, in teaching, and I'm very pleased to be part of this wonderful group. Next up is Indigo.
Thank you so much, Joan. I'm just pulling up my little notes. So I will just start off by saying kind of who I am and what I do, just like Joan did. But I'm the owner of St. George Market, and I'm a business consultant here in the St. George community. Philanthropy has always been in my bones, and I'm really personally excited about helping women and girls in education, leadership, and personal development. So yeah, just really excited to get to know you guys and recruit new members, of course, as well. Going into like the grant status, let me just kind of update you on that. We want to keep our members excited about the impact of grants. So we've decided to do a video impact statement to help kind of reinforce the magic behind the money, to bring more of a view of how impactful each dollar is and how each dollar has a purpose. In addition to that, excuse me, how purposeful inviting friends to meetings like this can be. Hint, hint, nod, nod. So the numbers include, for 2021, we awarded $40,000 to 6 nonprofit organizations. Canyon Creek was at 8,000, Creek Valley was at 8, Girls on the Run was at about 8 as well, and just rounding up here. Kane Foundation was at 75. And then Memory Matters was at 5. Moab was at 4.3. Excuse me. Oh, there we go. That's pretty much it. So next year, we are in the process of dividing up the grantees and getting, excuse me, those applications out to the nonprofits. And then some housekeeping notes. We would love for you guys to refer any nonprofit organizations that may be interested in applying. And overall, we're just a hands-on group of women who really like to help. So we're looking forward to working with everybody and so on. So that's pretty much it.
There we go. I'm Dana Naylor, and thanks, Indigo. I have been a member for a number of years, and I think it's like 4 or so. And I'm retired now. Previously, I worked and was involved with residential boarding schools, private organization that my family had started, and we operated for troubled teens and young adults for many, many years. And upon completion of that, I really realized that one of my favorite parts of that very intense work that we did was working with many of the young women that I had the opportunity to encourage and support and create new programming for, and on and on. And connecting with them now a lot of years later, some are in their 40s and even early 50s. And it just really reminded me of how that's always been a mission of mine, and that is to support young women and women in general. So when I discovered the Giving Circle, the Three Corners Giving Circle, it was just an absolute natural fit, and I jumped in with great excitement. Shannon Anderson had introduced me, like she introduced many of us, to a variety of organizations. But and so I decided to get involved in talking with Stephanie. I decided to take on the social media area of the committee responsibilities. And I too, like Joan, am here about 7 months of the year, and the remainder of the time I'm in Lakewood, Colorado, where we have our other home. And but I can do all of this from afar as well as here. So right now I'm learning a lot more about Instagram, and very open to that educational curve. I'm somewhat familiar with Facebook, but learning a lot more. And hopefully my intention is to continue to both speak of the tremendous work that we're doing, but also use those tools to help us spread the word of the amazing work that we are doing and the lives that we're helping to impact, and then getting others to join us, to find us. So I put the plea out, if there's anyone who has an interest or passion for that, I'd love to talk to you, because I definitely could use some help, and also would like to take a vacation too, but because we know social media never sleeps, that would be ever. And so would love to have some help. So that's my little spiel, and Tony is going to do hers next on communications.
Hi, nice to meet you. I am the communications chair, and I've been involved with Stephanie and the Giving Circle for probably 6-7 years now. I was on the grant committee for 2 years, and that was a really eye-opening experience. I learned so much about what the need is in this community for women and girls. Prior to moving to St. George, my husband and I live here full-time. We've been here 12 years. I was in Los Angeles. I owned my own public relations agency, had a lot of clients in the hospitality, small business area. I became an independent consultant and worked for Dick Clark Corporate Productions for a long time. I helped companies by researching PR and marketing agencies for them. And one of my top clients at the time was the National Museum of the Marine Corps. I helped them find the right public relations agency for their opening launch in 2006. So I've been in this industry a very long time and kind of have a knack for what the media likes and what they don't like, if you can get in touch with them anymore. But in any case, I have had wonderful help with Stephanie learning how to do MailChimp that I knew nothing about, because I always had a staff that did that stuff. So I'm learning, and I put out the last 2 newsletters. And I would ask all of you, if there's something you would like to see in a newsletter or communications from us, please let me know. And we would love to provide you with the information you think you need to help us grow and help other women and girls in our community. Since being in St. George, I have been on the foundation board of Tuagon Center for the Arts, and I was also on the board of trustees at the Entrada at Snow Canyon Country Club. So my husband and I are very involved in the community, and we've worked with Glenna at the hospital quite a bit too, and love living in St. George and feel this is a beautiful community. And people here are very giving, very loving, and we'd like them to share with us what we do for the women and girls here. Thanks. Glenna, I think you're up.
Yeah, that's me. Hi, everybody. I'm excited to have, well, I think I'm excited. Stephanie's amazing. Like, it took 5 of us to do what she was doing. I mean, who's amazing, us or her? I think we should all give her a round of applause. Hooray! So but Stephanie isn't leaving us. She is on the board. We're just trying to take away some of her day-to-day responsibilities as she guides and leads us. But so for membership, she's done a terrific job. Right now we have over like 120 members. We see members, some members, if they move, they end their membership, some don't, if they've had, homes in both places, which we love to see. We need to try to figure out a way to continue to cover the loss, the attrition that we're having, in addition to growing the membership, just to keep it stable. Right now, we're raising around $40,000 a year to award. It'd be nice if we could shoot that up a little. We've seen the need in the proposals that we've received. And oftentimes we have to either not award the full amount or not award all of the ones that we'd like to award. So we'll think of that as we go into the future. Again, I think right now we have about a little over 11,000 that's come in out of that 40,000 that we need for memberships. And I know some people will pay closer to the end of the year, but because we're meeting virtually, it makes it easier for people to slip away, and we don't want that to happen. So if you have a friend that is a member, encourage them to, make their contribution. And we're also going to do something right before Mother's Day. I don't know if, did Tony mention this? Did you mention it? Okay, so right before Mother's Day, we're just going to send out an extra, I think at the end of next week, a little reminder. that if you'd like to make a contribution, additional contribution to honor a woman that's been important in your life somehow, you can do that. And we are figuring all of that out right now, but you should be able to click on a link and, just, my mother's deceased. I won't be sending her flowers, so I can make a gift online and just support this cause and honor her through that a little extra. We might do some other things like that throughout the year. We also hope that we can perhaps find some way to raise a sponsorship so that we can do some matching funds at some point to encourage new members. It was done a few years ago and it was very successful. So those are just some of our ideas. Also, someone has suggested, our brand new member suggested to me that if I would write up a template email that has just basic information about what it means to be a member, Margaret, that she would personalize it and then send it out to some of her friends. So I'm going to work on that. Margaret's going to be my test case, and maybe we'll just send out an email blast to the group, and if you want to use it, and if you don't, just hit delete. You might want to personalize it in a way that you make a phone call, but at least you'll have the information in front of you so that you can, kind of use it as talking points. And that's what I got. Thanks so much for contributing. It's really, I think we're doing some really important work and it's fun too. So keep it up. And I am now going to turn this back over to Joan to make a few more questions, and then we'll move in. Or Joan, are you done? I've closed the agenda, of course.
I'm done for now. You were going to
okay.
Introduce the speaker.
Good. Okay. So today's speaker is going to be Cami Aldridge, and her a student from Dixie Applied Technology or Dixie Technology School. I'm not 100%
Dixie Technical
sure.
College.
Dixie Technical College. It's up on, what do we call that? The Ridge?
We were on Old Airport Road. We're now Tech Ridge Drive is what they call it. So yeah, we're up on the hill. We just tell people we're up on the hill.
And it's super fancy up there if you guys haven't been, and the building itself is beautiful. We selected this group because we've heard of some of the programs and outreach that they're doing that are specifically involving women and girls right now. And we just thought it'd be interesting to hear from their perspective what's going on with the sort of this area of, helping people get employed and stay productive, maybe switch careers, maybe new careers. And Cami has graciously, we invited Kelly Stevens, the director, and Kelly unfortunately had a family emergency. And so Cami stepped up, and she's the financial aid director, manager actually. And we think that maybe she was the choice we should have made, but we don't want to tell Kelly that. So we're going to go ahead and mute everybody. If you're all being so quiet and good though, it's not a big deal. And we'll let Cami take over. Thanks, Cami.
You're welcome. Hi, can you hear us? Are you guys good? Can everybody hear us? Okay, That's great. Okay. So like Glenna said, my name's Cami Aldridge. I am the financial aid manager here at Dixie Tech. And I just want to first of all, I am super, super grateful for this opportunity to talk to you all. I love my job. That's the first thing you need to know about me. That's really the only thing, honestly, you need to know about me. I've worked at Dixie Tech for 8 years, and 6 of those years have been in federal financial aid and working in financial aid with our students. And I'll tell you, I just love my job. So any opportunity I get to speak to anybody about what I do here, I take. And I love. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about who we are and what we do up here. And then I'm going to introduce Sarah here, and Sarah's going to tell you about her experience here at Dixie Tech. So first of all, I just want to tell you, like Glenna said, we're up on the hill. So this is a new place for us. We have been here for about 2 to 3 years, but we've been around since 2013. And we used to be at the old Harmon's building. I don't know if any of you know where that is, downtown by Dixie State. We used to be the old Harmon's building. And then we moved gradually and we went over to Tonnequin, and we were in a strip mall for a while. And Kelly Stevens, I can't say enough about Kelly Stevens and her vision. And we'll talk more about her vision and her mission for us here, because she really is that driving factor and that leader that got us where we are. And here we are all these years later, and we have this beautiful building that's ours, and we are able to give the education and the skills to students and do what we love to do. And so it's really, really cool. So if you haven't gotten a chance and you want to come visit us, please do. I will set up a tour anytime. Come and see me, and I will walk you around and show you our building and what we do. So that I am always up for visitors. So that's a real thing. So don't think I'm kidding. I'm up for visitors anytime. So really though, I want to talk about what we do here at Dixie Tech. If you're not familiar, just a little bit of just to let you know, we specialize in certificate programs. So we are not degree seekers, we are certificates, we are skills. And so we currently have 25 programs, and they range from everything from computer sciences, healthcare sciences, and then transportation technologies, which Sarah's in diesel technician. And like I said, we'll talk about that here in just a second. But our biggest thing here is our vision. And our vision is we are forward thinking, future focused, and we're career ready. Now, when I first started my job, and Kelly was at the president at the time, and I had first started, I worked at the front desk. And I remember we used to be forward thinking, future focused, and job ready. And Kelly didn't like that. She was just like, I don't like that. These aren't jobs. We're not just giving somebody a job. We're giving them a career. We're giving them more. And so she changed our vision. And ever since that day when that vision changed, we really have completely that is our driver. That is what we strive to do. So our mission here at Dixie Tech is for students who want to improve their lives by improving their employability. Dixie Tech provides current, relevant, industry-driven training in a professional and demanding environment. Dixie Tech certificates are nationally recognized certifications or licensures indicating competence and work readiness to potential employers. That is our mission right there. To our students, Dixie Tech will help you be forward thinking, future focused, and career ready, like I said. And as an institution, our faculty and staff commit to being forward thinking, future focused, and career ready, personally, and in each interaction with a student, potential student, employer, or member of our community. And so really, to sum that up, what all of that basically is that we're committed. We are committed to giving people skills that they can take out into the world and they can make a career. And we do that in whatever way we can to help them. And so this is where I want to introduce Sarah, because I can tell you all day long about my programs, but I don't actually go to Dixie Tech. I just work here and love my job. I want Sarah to tell you about her experience. Sarah is in our diesel technician program, which she is not the only girl in the program. There's a couple of you guys in there. And but she's top of her class. And her instructor tells me that with all the time. And so I want Sarah to be able to tell you about her experience. So I'm gonna let her tell you.
Oh, hello everyone. I was so thankful that Cami asked me to do this. Yeah, so basically I'll just tell you a little bit about my experience here. Dixie Technical College was my first choice in schooling here in St. George. I have lived here for 6 years. I graduated from Dixie High School. And honestly, throughout high school, I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. I was really scared, really, because I didn't have something that I really loved doing throughout high school. But I had one class, and that was my auto class, where we just learned a little bit about working on your own cars and changing oil. And when it came time for me to graduate, I was freaking out a little bit, and I was just talking with my auto instructor, and he actually told me that I had a little bit of skill in the class and that I was very good at solving problems and working on vehicles. And he suggested to me that I look into the programs here at Dixie Tech because they're affordable and they're close to home. So I did a little bit of digging. I looked into the auto program, which was very appealing. And then I was talking with my grandfather, who he drove truck for 35 years. He was a diesel truck driver. And he actually suggested to me that I look into the diesel program because diesel is an industry that is going to probably stand the test of time. I don't know if a lot of people realize it, but the whole entire country runs on diesel. Everything that is shipped across the nation, everything that's shipped across oceans, it's all run on diesel. Like even your food, all of your cosmetics, like all your necessities, everything runs on diesel. So when I looked into the program, I realized that there was a 100% job placement rate, which was so appealing to me. I'd never heard that before for anything, especially not something that I was interested in. So that excited me. I looked into the program. I applied. At the time that I applied, the program was full. So I just kind of, I lost track of going to school for a while. And when COVID hit, I kind of spiraled. I had no idea what I was doing. I was working at Jimmy John's. I had no like vision for where I was going in life. And thankfully the CARES Act came through. And for whatever reason, I got a call and I was offered a grant to come to school here. And I can honestly say it has immensely changed my life. I am now going to school like 4 days a week, and it's from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I just love it. Throughout this program, I came into this program with basically no real world experience. The most I had done was changed oil on my car. And now I'm working on heavy duty big rigs. I've been working on semi trucks. I have done live jobs. So our program, we partner with the CDL class here at Dixie Tech, and I have been working on the driving school trucks. So I've done clutch jobs. My last job, I was changing a clutch, which turned into changing motor mounts. So that's a little nerve-wracking. I was balancing like a 3,000-pound engine on a little jack, and it was incredibly exciting and thrilling. But you know, I don't know if it's obvious, but I'm quite small. So working on a giant engine was amazing for me, and my instructors have been so incredible with just making me know that I am capable, and they give me all the tools that I need to learn and to be prepared, which is really exciting for me. So I'm constantly learning. I'm loving it. We do so many things that are really focused on getting a career. I actually have gotten many job offers, and I haven't even graduated yet, which is incredible. So yeah, that's been my program. Basically, after coming to Dixie Tech, I have put together a little bit of a like 5-year plan. I'm hoping to get a good job. I just got married, but honestly, really without this program and the CARES Act coming through, I would be a little bit lost in life. But, you know, thankfully I have great financial aid advisors and great instructors that have helped me to be able to come to school. And honestly, I was worried that I would be able to support myself while I was in school. And thankfully that has not been an issue. And I have been provided all the tools I need in my class, thanks to like donations. Our shop is phenomenal. Like, honestly, I really suggest you come and at least see the diesel shop. It's beautiful, and the trucks are really big and fun. So, yep.
Okay. Sarah, thank you, for real. And I don't know if you could tell, but when she talks, I get emotional. And so does her instructor. Fun fact about that. So does her instructor. He gets really worked up, and we don't. It's
He's the sweetest guy.
He's the nicest guy in the world. And that brings me in. I want to tell y'all about our instructors and just what we do, because that is Sarah's story is kind of across the board. And I have instructors that are so caring and so amazing, and they're not your typical they come from industry. So each instructor is certified in their industry, but they're not teachers. Nobody has gone to school to teach. They have gone to learn their trade, and they know their trade so well that we have snagged them and we have brought them here to teach what they know to other people. And so they're all certified, and they're amazing, and they care on a level that is, it's almost unheard of. I don't know very many other institutions that have that level of caring. And so they're just great. So what I really want to talk about too, though, is that, so Sarah has the most amazing story, and I'm so happy that she's here to share it with you guys, because it like I said, it makes me emotional. The thing is that all of our students have a story, whether even they know it or not. They all have a story. And in financial aid, I see a lot of that. I see a lot of that come through. And I have everybody who ranges from starting out. I have students that are, brand new, who want to come in right after high school. And then I have a lot of moms. I have a lot of single moms who are recently single, and all of a sudden they need to provide for their family that they've never had to do that before, and they don't even know where to start. And so we have them come in and we talk to them about their options and what they want to do, and show them that it's possible. Show them that it's possible to learn a skill and get a trade and be able to go into the workforce and not only work and be prosperous, but support your family and do that. And then I have a lot of moms too, or not even moms, or women who have decided they want a career change. I have some sisters right now in my drafting and design program. They decided that they needed a career change, and they decided that's what they wanted to do, and they changed everything in their life and came to do our drafting and design. And that's because that's what they want to do. And I love it. And I see it more and more every day, that there are so many opportunities out there. And we've really gotten to a new part here where we've broken the mold. So a girl can go into diesel or into auto or into IT or into any of those. That's not just nursing anymore, or into my into the nursing program, or going into the medical field of some sort, or something more catered for a girl. This is more now where women can really go and do anything, and we love that. And we don't only love that, we encourage it. We are really big on that. And I love nothing more than to sit down with somebody and say, what do you want to do? And they said, oh, well, I don't know, and I kind of like auto, but I don't know. Then let's do auto. If that's what you want to do, then let's do it. And that's really what we're about, is that, if you want to do it, we want you to do it. And so this is where we want to talk about more about financial aid. Sarah mentioned the CARES Act. So with COVID, some money had come through from the Departments of Education, and we were fortunate enough to get some of that money down here, and we've been using it like crazy. We love to do that. We love to help people as much as we can, because even though we're an affordable school, I will say my most expensive program from start to finish is about $6,000, and that's expensive for us. Diesel is about $5,000. With the CARES Act, we were able to actually use a lot of that money and provide schooling for free, and then students were able to use their federal funding for themselves, and that's been such a real huge blessing for a lot of students. When I say federal funding, I talk about the FAFSA. I don't know if you're familiar with FAFSA. FAFSA is the free student free student grant and loan database. And essentially what that is you apply to see if you qualify. Student loans is a hard subject for us. We don't talk about student loans because we aren't a big believer in them. Kelly Stevens is a huge believer in, I don't want to send somebody to school and have them graduate with debt. That does no one any good. We want you to come. We want to get it as much paid for as possible, and then we want you to be able to graduate debt free and start your life. And so we only accept the Pell Grant portion of the FAFSA. So that is a grant portion. As long as the student qualifies for a grant and completes the program, they don't have to pay that back. That is not something that they have to pay back. And then we also work with scholarships. I have a lot of students like Sarah who qualifies for full grants, which is fabulous. I also have a population that qualifies for partial grants or even no grants. And that's where my scholarships really come in. And, you know, that's why, you know, I know you ladies are amazing and you do some great work in the community. And we just want, you know, we want you to know that we're up here too. And we are always looking for partners and scholarship opportunities of any kind, because we want to help our students. We want to take, you know, $500 for somebody and help them finish out their program with what we can. And so we are so grateful, like I said, for the opportunity just to talk with you guys, with you all, just to say, hey, you know, this is who we are. We want you to know, and we want you to come and visit us and let us show you what we do here. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to talk to you. And like I said, I would love to answer any questions you have. So you're more than welcome, I think, to unmute now if you want, or if you have questions, and I would love to answer anything that you have.
Well, I'll start while people are thinking, because I was thinking of a couple things while you were talking. First of all, you're both really impressive and very exciting, and we can tell that there's a lot of passion behind what you're both doing. I guess one question I have is, you know, you've talked about how supportive the school is to getting women and girls involved in programs. And I know there's probably some that, you know, people are probably used to having women in, but how receptive are businesses? Like, what's it like to be in a diesel mechanic shop? I mean, is it, you know, there's been a lot of other trailblazers in a lot of areas, but I know there's still a lot of discrimination that goes on and harassment. And do you feel like you're equipped to deal with that as you get out into those areas? So I guess it's kind of twofold, part for Cammie, part for Sarah.
You want to start, or you want me to start?
You go ahead.
Okay.
I'm gonna think on this.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I was going to say first, Glenna, that's a great observation and a great question, because we actually had a female student, and she was, we'd put her in a placement. We had put her in a job placement, in an externship, and she had some harassment there. There was an older gentleman. He did not like that she was there, and he voiced his opinion. His supervisor reprimanded him immediately, and she came back, and my instructors were livid. They were absolutely livid, because one big thing with Dixie Tech is that not only do we work with our instructors who are in the field, who have knowledge of the field, we work with our industry. We know all of our partners. So every placement site that I have, we know those places that we're sending our students. So we know that that's a good place to send them. We partner with them, and it killed our partnership. I'll tell you right there, it killed our partnership. We no longer send students there, male or female. We're done. We're done there now, because it killed that partnership, because we just don't stand for it. So I know the industry is progressing, because that was one instance, and the industry is definitely progressing, but it's not gone, and we know that. And so on our end of it, we just don't put up with it. There's no tolerance. We're done. And so that was our stance on it. The girl, she was actually a high schooler, mind you. She was a minor. She was one of our high school students, and she came in with her mom, and she and I sat down and we talked, and I said, "What, are you okay? Like, how did this make you feel?" and things. And she did. She had concerns, and she said that. She goes, "Well, I have the concerns, but," she goes, "now I just want to finish because everybody told me I can't. Everybody just said I can't do it. So now I want to be done, and I want to do it." And she did rethink after that. And it was a really sad experience. And so on the school end, we handled it, but really I can't speak for the personal aspect on that. But industries, on what I see, industries getting better, but no, it still exists out there. And so for us, we just end the partnership. But okay. I want to hear from you. So
the fact that diesel technology is such a male-dominated field was part of the reason why I put off going to school for so long, because I was scared, and I knew that it was a male-dominated field. And even the day I started my class, I was really nervous and anxious that I would be discriminated against or judged. And, you know, from the get-go, all of my instructors have made it very clear that no matter the gender of the student, they're going to do everything they can to protect them and to teach them. And that's something that I have seen personally that has carried through everyone that I know that works in the diesel field. I know all of my friends, like I have 2 friends that are in the diesel program, and one of them has gotten, she's gotten a job at Andrus Trucking, working at a trucking company. And from what I've heard from her experiences, she hasn't really received much discrimination, but I think mostly because of the fact that the diesel instructors here only send us to places where they have worked and they know it's a safe environment. And honestly, they're like our family. Like our instructors are like, I would consider them like my dads. And it sounds a little silly, but I think they would probably fight someone for me.
They would. No, it's not silly. They would. John would do that for her.
And he's a gentle person, but I can see it. So honestly, some of my classmates have made dumb remarks because they simply are ignorant to the fact that they could be hurtful. And my instructors have done a really incredible job with shutting it down and letting them know that that is not acceptable. And honestly, with my field in particular, there is such a high need for technicians that everyone in the diesel field has really come to realize that women can be a great asset to the whole business model, really, because we're fast learners, and frankly, like, we just do a good job.
We're better organized. I know that sounds awful to say, but that really is in the diesel field, especially automotive, to the organization skills that we bring to the table, that you bring to the table, is massive.
It's been incredibly important in my class. My instructors have actually asked me to help them teach some students how to be more organized. Like right now, I'm actually working on a project. I'm tearing down a diesel engine, and a lot of the components you have to be very organized with. You have to keep everything in order, and if you mix them up, the engine just won't run. So, there are some older mechanics that like to just say that they're stuck in their ways, but I think from what I've witnessed and what I've experienced, the industry is really progressing, and it's become a pretty safe environment as far as I have experienced. And thankfully, I have instructors that are willing to look out for me, and they're willing to, lay down the law. Like if something is not acceptable and if I feel unsafe, I'm very comfortable letting them know, and they're very comfortable shutting it down. So.
Well, thanks for that answer. This next question, there's one that's submitted on chat, and it's more of a generic it says, if you have a chef restaurant certification, we believe, and of that, what's the % of men versus women in the program? And in general, what's the % of women versus men at Dixie Tech?
So in my culinary arts program, I would go 50-50. You have about 50% men, 50% women in that program itself. Now, as far as overall the school itself, I'm trying to think, I would probably say we're more 60-40, I would say, as far as 60% men, about 40% women, because I do have some medical programs. Like I said, we talked about earlier, my medical programs are quite dominated by women. That's usually I don't have as many men upstairs in the medical field as I do in like my industry programs, like the diesel technician that Sarah's in. But we do have a really diverse population as far as not only men and women. We are age range from, like I said, from right out of high school to returning. I had an 86-year-old man just start my IT program the other day. He's using some benefits that he had, and he started the program. He's fantastic, but we really do go, like I said, we span the whole gamut. So we're very happy and very proud of our diversity here, because a lot of people think that when you go through a class and you have so many different types of people that it just can't work. It does. It just works. They all become family. Like Sarah said, you just kind of become family, and everybody takes care of each other.
Okay, someone just asked a question. Are there any requirements to get accepted? And I think by that, Yeah, what are the requirements to enter Dixie Tech, and how many students are in the program and length of program? But I'm guessing that varies by program, but maybe you can summarize that for us.
It does, and I can give you kind of a quick summary on that for sure. So there is an application process to get into each program, and each program's application process is similar, but they are all a little bit different. So there's an application fee of $40. That's just your general information that you fill out, and then there is a placement test. Now, the placement test, I know that scares a lot of people because a lot of people think, oh, I can't do a placement test. When we say placement test, what that means is the industry has standards. So every industry has standards. You have to know how to read and write. You have to learn certain math. And when I say math, I don't mean you need to have algebra, trigonometry, anything like that. You need to have general knowledge of math that's going to be had in the field. So there's the math requirement, and then there is there's the reading requirement and a writing requirement. And each program is a little bit different, and that's on my website, and I can always get you guys information if you'd like for each specific program, because they do have different requirements. But with the application process, once you complete the application, complete the testing, and you're good to go, you actually have an interview. And so the interview process is really a big deal for us. That's where the instructors themselves interview each student that they accept into their program, because they want to make sure that this is something you want to do. They want to make sure all the students have the same passion. Like Sarah having that passion to come and do this, they want to make sure that everybody has that. And we found, I had a student just the other day interview for auto, and auto isn't what he wanted to do. He's now in diesel because they found out in his interview that it just didn't work. And the requirements were similar enough for each program that we were able to just transfer him right over. And so there are different, like I said, requirements, but that is to get into the school. Each program has its own hours and own length of time. However, most of my programs are about a year to 18 months long. And that's full time. So I don't go over 2 years. The only thing that's over 2 years currently is HVACR, the heating and air program. And that the reasoning being is because they take the summer off so they can work full time.
Okay. We've got a few more questions on chat if you guys have time. So, and I don't even know what this one means, but how do you accommodate students with IEP or 504? I'm guessing those is,
yeah.
Somebody knows that?
That's a great question. So an IEP, I'm thinking individual lesson plan, I'm guessing. Oh. Okay. And so here is a really hard one, and I'm not sure, I would love to educate you guys because I didn't know this. I didn't know that once you stopped going to K through 12, so once you graduated high school, your IEP stops. And so at that point, they then have to apply for accommodations here at the school. I do have an ADA advisor. Her name's Marianne. She's absolutely fantastic. And so if I have a student with an IEP, we usually recommend that they fill out the ADA packet and they get in contact with Marianne to make any accommodations that they might need for the program. So yes, we are 100% ADA compliant, and we work really, really well with all of our students that have had IEPs that are transitioning into that ADA for an adult.
Okay, does that answer for everybody?
I was gonna say, does that answer that question?
I think it does. And so the next one is how many programs, okay, how many programs are there, and is it a semester schedule? And how do you get scholarship money?
Okay, great questions. So I have 25 current programs. When I say programs, these are what we call COE, which is my accrediting body. That is my accreditation. They are COE accredited. The 25 do not include my community ed classes. I have a couple of community ed classes that go through periodically through the year. These are programs that are longer than 600 hours. You just heard me use the term hours. So no, I'm not semester based. We're actually what they call clock hour, and we call it you have to attend. Attendance is key for everything I do here. And so my programs all vary in length of hours, and a student will go hours per week. So Sarah's program is 1,000 hours. She goes 24, I believe, right now, or 28, something like that. 24 to 28, she's full-time a week. Those 4 days there, she goes 4 days a week. And and her program's about a year, I think it's about a year, 18 months long, I think it is. It's about a year. No, it's just about a year long. And so, so I'm not semester based. I start multiple times a year. That's another thing. I actually just started a couple of cohorts in April. So I actually start dates were Monday and Tuesday. So the last 2 days we've had like 5 different programs start. And then I'll start in the summertime again. And then we have a couple of more programs starting in October, and then we'll just keep running through. When it comes to scholarship money, so I have some state money, very, very little state money, but I do have some state money that kind of gets rolled over that we use, that we call a tuition fund, and it works as a tuition waiver. And then other than that, my scholarships are 100% outside donors. I have a couple of people in the community who are amazing, and they have set up their own little foundation, and they have, they've given us X amount of money. We make sure that we allot it correctly. I have some scholarships that I work with in the community where they have their own application and their own process. We put that on our website. The Lady Lions is one of them, where they have their own link on our website. We click on the students fill out that application, and they make the selection process and then send the money right directly to the school and pay on behalf of the students. But majority of my scholarships come from outside donors.
Okay. Someone's asked a question about Sarah, just what are you most proud of? I want to make sure I get this right. You probably saw it come up, and it says, what are you most proud of as a result of your participation in this program?
That's a loaded question. Honestly, what I'm most proud of is actually attending school. My father throughout his life, he was not able to attend secondary school, and I think he only got his GED throughout his life. My father he grew up in Inglewood, California, in a little bit of a rough neighborhood, and then he lived on the Navajo reservation with our family for a while, and then after that, he bounced around foster homes until he turned 16 and moved out. And because of that, he had a really hard time, getting a good, proper education. And growing up, my father always told me that education should be my #1 priority, and that it was something that I needed to work really hard on, because knowledge is power. And I'm getting emotional, but my father really pushed me to try really hard and to just do my best. And honestly, I can say that I'm doing my best in the program. And I think I'm just proud that my dad would be proud of me. So I'm happy to be here. I'm grateful.
Well, I think everybody should unmute really quickly and just tell Sarah how happy they are for her. I think she's a wonderful human being. I can only, if I was your parent, I would be so proud of you too. So congratulations for all you're doing and all you're going to do. We can't wait to hear about the great successes you have. Does anybody, let me see, I think another chat came in. Anyway, people are saying thanks for sharing. It really was delightful to have you there and have you tell the story. We are interested in, in our local nonprofits and how we can encourage and improve the lives of women and girls. So it's great to hear these kinds of things happening. And then hopefully we can work with Cammie and her team to maybe look into a possibility of a future grant that we could do to help support some of the efforts that are going on there.
We would love that. And like I said, I really want y'all to come and visit me. I really like visitors. So please come see me, and we will go to Diesel. We will go all over, and you guys can just see what we do here. And just, like I said, I could talk all day. So I just want you to come and see how amazing it is here.
So we're gonna try to do a field trip, it looks like. And Sarah, when do you graduate?
I graduate in June.
Great. And so you guys were opened all through COVID?
We closed for a month month. We were
Okay.
almost 2 months. It was almost
Okay.
2 months. And then we reopened, and you know, we made it work. We had some minutes, but we made it work. And it
Good.
actually, nothing happened.
Good.
I shouldn't say nothing happened, but we did good. It went really well.
Good for you guys. And you have a job lined up, you said.
I've gotten a few job offers. As far as like actually getting a job right now, I've been trying to scrape together enough money to buy some tools, because you know, as a mechanic you have to have tools, and I haven't gotten them yet. So I know I'm just kind of trying to save my pennies, and then then I'll be able to get a job.
Well, that's a consideration too, maybe. I don't know how our funding would work for that, but I mean, in the future, that might be something for us to look at. I mean, we're talking hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars.
It's a pretty penny.
Tools can get expensive quick.
Yeah.
My teachers, the diesel program partners with a lot of major tool companies. So we actually, as students, we get about a 50% discount. So I can get a good starter pack. I've been putting together a list of like necessities, and I'm looking at about $7,000 right now in tools. But yeah,
That's more than school.
it's more than my program.
It's more than the program cost.
But I mean, without them, I can't do anything. So
Yeah.
So
well, we'll
my
keep our
teachers-
fingers crossed for you.
yeah, my teachers have been looking out for good deals for me. So.
Good, good. Well, anybody else? Or Joan, do you want to just take back over the meeting, and anybody else can jump in?
Close it up. On behalf of Three Corners, I would like to thank Cami and Sarah. You've given us a lot of time, a lot of information, and you know, we love to hear about a woman who's going to enter a trade that has always been a masculine enclave, and we want to support that in every way. I mean, I don't know if there's a glass ceiling, but maybe there's some other some other applicable image that we could use for you going off to do work on enormous tractor trailer trucks and rebuilding diesel motors and such. So we really do thank you for the time you've shared with us, the information. I think you might want to think about ways that we can work together. Maybe there's an application you can submit to us and we can consider funding. So, you know, it could be productive for you as well as for Three Corners. In closing, please consider recruiting friends, family members, neighbors, work colleagues to Three Corners. Follow us and like us on Facebook and Instagram. Consider making a donation in honor of your mother for Mother's Day, something I had never thought of, but it appeals to me a great deal. And set aside the date of our next meeting, September 15th, which we hope very much will be an in-person gathering with our usual wine and munchies. So thank you all for joining the meeting this evening. And we certainly wish the best to Sarah as she pursues her passion, which is diesel motors, which fascinates me. Anybody else? Any other comments or such? Oh, this is going to be for Dana.
Yes, Joan, Laura is leaving us. You said you're going to Prescott, is that right? It sounds like a new adventure, and we just want to say bon voyage, and hopefully we will see you again at some point down the road. And do you care to share with us anything, something exciting or new, or just you're just plain old tired of being here in the heat and you want to go someplace cooler? What's up?
The heat, right? You got it. The heat, and it's pretty, and something different. But awesome. Very much enjoyed my time on the Three Corners Giving Circle. So yeah, and thanks to Stephanie for starting it, and thank you for everyone continuing it.
Absolutely. Well, bon voyage.
Thank you.
I think we should say bon voyage to Allison as well. And maybe she has something to say as she goes back to Portland.
Yes, I am. I've sold my house and I've been spending half of the year here, but it's time for me to have one house instead of two houses. And so I leave just a couple days before Laura leaves. So I too, I have just enormous awe for what Stephanie has done. My good friend Stephanie, and I am happy to have been a participant in this since it started, and I hope it goes continually well.
I should say one thing about Allison. She did help us in terms of writing a news release to announce our grantees a couple of years in a row. So that was really helpful. She's done some writing, and it was great. So thanks very much, Allison, and I'll be in touch soon.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage, and I think that will terminate our meeting tonight.
Awesome.
Thank you all.
Thank
you.
See ya.